What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlemania here, back with another video. The men and women of professional wrestling police themselves, with things like wrestlers caught being used to exact justice. One punishment is being kicked out of the locker room, a sure sign someone has got into deep trouble with their colleagues. Here are 6 WWE wrestlers who were kicked out of the locker room. Number 1. The Miz. The poster boy for backstage heat, The Miz's career seemed headed for the door after he was enjoying a chicken dinner and spilled crumbs into Chris Benoit's bags. The Miz was brought before wrestlers court and banned from the locker room during the TV events. In a 2017 interview, John Morrison recalls it was Scott Armstrong's bag and not Benoit's. Nonetheless, Miz was kicked out, not only from TV events, but all events. According to Morrison, I remember hearing about it and I was on the other show. Then the Benoit tragedy occurred and 6 or 8 months after that, Miz had still been changing in the hall. He didn't really know what to do because the rule is whoever kicks you out of the locker room has to be the one to invite you back in. So he didn't know what to do. In that case, I think Undertaker might have done this. At one point said something like, "Hey kid, why do you keep changing by the garbage? What are you doing out there?" Then Miz explained the story and he invited Miz back in. Things worked out for The Miz eventually, showing wrestlers can be forgiving to their wayward colleagues. Number 2. Enzo Amore. We discussed in a recent video how Enzo Amore ran afoul of Roman Reigns, getting kicked off the WWE tour bus after reportedly having an obnoxiously loud phone conversation. He apparently hasn't learned his lesson, as he's in more heat for what Sports Illustrated reported as Amore bringing a series of questionable guests into the locker room. The visitors broke locker room etiquette by filming and taking pictures of the wrestlers. The talent in the WWE believe that Amore, who is 30 years old, should know better. Sports Illustrated also confirmed an incident of Amore conducting himself poorly at a Buffalo strip club. Amore's wish to have a music career may become a necessity if his WWE misconduct continues. Number 3. Melina. WWE diva Melina was known for rubbing wrestlers the wrong way, allegedly due to her letting success go to her head and acting like a prima donna. Stories of Melina sleeping with Batista while she was John Morrison's girlfriend didn't help either. Things came to a head in 2006 when Melina was brought in front of wrestlers court during a WWE tour of Australia. Undeterred, Melina ran afoul of Lita, who reportedly kicked her out of the Divas locker room. Mick Foley came out in defense of Melina, stating, "Melina is just shy, it gets mistaken for rudeness." But Melina has her share of detractors. In 2011, Brooke Adams noted, "The reason I left WWE never had anything to do with her, that was just a rumour. When I left, I was actually the only person that liked her. She was such a rude fake bitch to everyone." She then tried to turn my girls Layla and Kelly against me by telling them a lie that I said, which in reality was a rumour that she started. "It was never anything I said. I can't stand her and neither can most of the rest." Other divas including Maria have unkind things to say about Melina in interviews as well. Number 4. The Jackal. Don the Jackal Callis had a run in the WWF in the late 90s as the manager of the Truth Commission and later the Oddities. While the details are remarkably sketchy, Callis reportedly had what had been described as nuclear heat backstage, resulting in him getting kicked out of the locker room. When asked in a 2015 interview with Joey Styles why he'd been fired from the WWF, he answered, apparently everything. Whatever the reasons behind his heat, it was said to have led the Hardy Boys breaking off toothpicks in the locks of Callis' car. Number 5. Matt Striker. Matt Striker's judgment was already in question when he called in sick to his regular job as a school teacher in order to wrestle. While he ultimately got signed to the WWE, he didn't win over any friends on the SmackDown roster when he was seen talking to road agents about how much better he thought the Raw brand was. Striker was also rumoured to have rubbed Eddie Guerrero the wrong way during a conversation, leading to an irate Chris Benoit throwing Striker's bag out of the locker room and forcing him to change in the hallway. And number 6. Mr. Kennedy. Ken Anderson, the artist formerly known as Mr. Kennedy, had a strong run in the WWE until injuries and a reported tendency to injure opponents in the ring led to his dismissal. He also had heat with Bob Hardcore Holly, who became irate when Kennedy won battle royals at house shows but didn't personally thank the wrestlers who'd put him over. Holly writes in his autobiography, The Hardcore Truth, "I called him out in front of everybody. I told him you don't go do whatever else first. You thank the people who put you over and shake their hands. The next night at another arena in Italy, when Ken came in, I marched right over, grabbed his bags and threw it in the hallway, saying, "Get the fuck out of my locker room. You're not changing in here until I say you can." Kennedy reportedly informed his riding partner Chris Benoit that his father had recently passed away, leading to Benoit approaching Holly, who then worked things out with Kennedy. Well guys, there you have it, 6 wrestlers who were unceremoniously thrown out of the locker room. Were there any we missed out? Be sure to leave your comments down below, drop a like if you want to, subscribe if you haven't already, turn notifications on, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.